Hey again, and welcome back to another video. So this video is something that I didn't really have to think about, or it wasn't something that I was thinking of doing until one day I just realized Akame got killed was pretty dumb. I remember watching this show when I was like an edgy 13-year-old, thinking how amazing it was, and that was like when I was beginning anime, so it was like my second or third anime after Tokyo Ghoul. I thought this show was like the gold tier stuff, and I was so mad that I watched this so early for a while, thinking that I spoiled myself by watching such a brilliant show. Seeing people dying in an animated show back then was crazy to see for me, and I had just correlated animated shows as kid shows throughout my life, and had it hardwired within me that death was impossible in animated shows until I started watching anime, and no anime has as much death, corruption, and killing than Akame ga Kill. Now fast forward to where I am now, this show may have done too much, so much so that all it's able to do to me now is make me laugh at the absurdity of it. I'm going to go into a bit more detail on why I think Akame ga Kill is dumb, and give you foolproof evidence that this show, although entertaining, is completely mindless. Spoilers obviously, so watch it first. Now, let's go back to the beginning of Akame ga Kill, where we meet our main character, Tatsumi, who, although looking exactly like a certain hentai MC, is pretty much the opposite in his attitude. He's nice, has noble intentions, wanting to make money for his rural village, and super gullible. We see how gullible he is as soon as he enters the Empire's main city and gets swindled of his money and all his savings. You'd think that after this happening for Tatsumi, that he would be able to discern and better analyze situations like this again, or at least be hesitant when talking or meeting other people in the city. But nope, he decides to accept an invitation from a random rich girl to stay at her house. How intelligent of Tatsumi. What's even more wild is that same night where he meets and stays with this rich girl, the Night Raid, an assassination group, decides to do a raid at night, hence the name, on the rich girl's mansion. We are then shown a situation where Tatsumi, the rich girl, and now Akame from the Night Raid are all in the same place, and Tatsumi's dumbass decides that he's gonna protect this rich girl from Akame and gets his ass handed to him. Before Akame ends up killing them though, we meet the woman who stole all of Tatsumi's money, who reveals she's in Night Raid as well, and is a cat girl too, cause why not? You don't have a cat girl in your anime, is it really an anime? Anyway, she explains to Tatsumi that the rich girl is basically a slave owner and is the reason his two friends that had traveled with him had died. So let's say you are the rich girl in this situation. You either A, deny all of what Leone, the cat girl who robbed Tatsumi at the start, is saying, B, admit it but say you had no control over the situation, or C, say that Night Raid are lying and that they are the ones responsible for killing Tatsumi's friends. So she decides to go for hidden option D, which also happens to be the dumbest route she could have gone. She decides to go full crazy yandere bitch mode and explain how she not only killed his friends, but enjoyed it too, listening to their screams as they were being tortured to their death. As you would think, Tatsumi did not take that well and decided to kill her right then and there on the spot. From then on is where he joins Night Raid himself and happy endings ensue. Now I'm just playing, it gets worse. We now come to the point of the video where I talk about what makes Akame ga Kill, what makes it so renowned and remembered by a lot of people who watch the show. Now once again, spoilers, big spoilers incoming, so leave now if you have not watched this show and come back after watching. The main reason I feel that has solidified Akame's spot in anime folklore is the fact that by the end of the anime, its whole main cast minus Akame are dead. Endings in any story are supposed to bring a resolution to that story, and in most cases be happy, so that not only are the characters fulfilled, but so is the audience. However, Akame ga Kill decided to go the other way and one by one killing its characters. Back when I was watching this for the first time, I thought that this was revolutionary and changed what I thought a story was. But now it's just stupid. I want to start by talking about the number of times Tatsumi and Bulat or Labok are placed in situations where they have to split up from each other or make every fight a one-on-one. These guys are trained assassins who should have contingency plans and be able to execute assassinations, or if not, at least escape with relative ease. Bulat's Incursio can literally allow him to be invisible, so just get in and get out. It's not like there's a limit on his power or anything for him to stop using it, so he can easily just escape his inevitable death. Not to mention that when Chelsea joined the Night Raid, her role was just to stir some shit up and then die. She never had any chance of surviving, and it was so obvious after the consecutive deaths of Bulat, Shiel, and Lubbock. No way in hell was she going to survive. Once again, she possesses an OP power, the ability to shapeshift into anyone with a Chanel makeup kit, so long as she just becomes Esdeath or something and get behind her target and execute. But nope, she ends up fighting Akame's younger sister, which pretty much solidified her death flag. The crazy thing is, we didn't even see that fight. They just showed Chelsea's head mounted on a pole to once again add to the death toll. But by far, the death that made made the least sense to me and was not necessary at all had to be Leon. After Tatsumi dies saving the city, we get flash forwards of where everyone is in the future and how they're doing. And for some reason, Leon is just bleeding out in a dark alleyway and dies. No precedent or any sign that she was in danger or anything like that, and she just dies. It's both unbearably sad and brainless at the same time that Leon ends up dying with nobody around her or nobody seeing her off. But also because it adds nothing to the end of the story or to the growth of any other character. It's only there to add to the deaths and evoke grief on the viewer. Although I have been kind of ragging on the show and its writing, I do have to acknowledge that it has such a varied and unique cast of characters in terms of their abilities and their personalities. Not to mention how cool Incursio is. Incursio has to be one of the most badass names you could probably say, but that's really the most praise I can give for the show watching it now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you agree or not, and see you next time.